Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mind Your Exam. So in this video we would be studying about the negative indexing that you can use in Python strings. In the previous video we studied about normal indexing or indexing using positive integers and the indexing starting from 0 and then going till n-1 when you access or traverse the string from left to right. Now, negative indexing is a complete opposite of what we have studied till now. Negative indexing starts from the extreme right and proceeds towards the left. And the indices are negative integers in this case, starting from -1. Okay, so as I have written and as I have told, the negative indexing starts from right to left. And what is the use of having negative indexing when we already have positive indices? See, sometimes for longer strings, you would want to traverse those strings starting from the end instead of from the very beginning. So in that case, negative indices come very handy, especially when you have to access the last or the second last character that is present in the string. Okay, so as I just mentioned, the index of the first character from the right is -1. Okay, and this indexing is of the rightmost character, and the leftmost character has an index of -n, where n is the length of the string. So remember, in case of positive indices, the indices varied from 0, that was assigned to the leftmost character, and the rightmost character was having a positive index of n-1, because in that case the indices were starting from 0. But in negative indexing, the indices start from -1 and go till the length of the string, which is -n. All right, so don't forget that each string has both positive indices and negative indices. So every character in a string can be accessed or will be accessible using the positive index also and the negative index also, but you have to be very careful with the starting value of the negative index. Okay, so if you have, for example, a string having a name s, the variable name is s, and the string has a value all in capitals, Mind Your Exam channel. So if I allot or if I assign negative indices to each character of this string, the last character, that is capital L, would get the negative index of -1. The second last would have the negative index of -2, and so on. As I proceed from right to left, the indices will keep on decreasing in negative terms, and the first character, that means the leftmost character or the last character from the right hand side, will have the negative index of minus of length. Length is 22, so capital M has the negative index of -22. Okay, so if I write a program statement stating s of -1, as you would have remembered from the previous video, that the square brackets are used to access or specify the index. Okay, so using the square brackets you can specify the index and retrieve a particular character from any string. So in this case, if I say s of -1 or s square bracket -1, then I will be returned the last character of this string or the first character from the right hand side. Okay, now if I say give me the character that is present at the index -16, so the index -16 has been assigned to capital O, and that would be the answer. Be very careful in writing the answers to such questions, because you must specify the return value in quotes, because as I have told you, strings are represented either in single quotation marks, in double quotation marks, or even in triple quotes. Okay, now in the previous video also I have told you about the errors that can arise while mentioning the indices using a string or for a particular string. So there was a rule that you cannot exceed index value out of its range or out of its valid range. That means if you write an index and try to access a character at an invalid index which does not fall in the valid range of either 0 to length -1 or in the range of -1 to minus of length, then an error will be shown. Similarly, I also mentioned that the indices should always be integers. It should be either positive integer, negative integer, or 0. They cannot be floating point numbers. So this will give you a type error in the Python programming language. Now the last thing to remember is, as I just told you, that if we have a string, say str, having the name str and having the value hello in capitals, so each character will have a positive index as well as a negative index. So if I want to access this particular L, then there are two ways of doing it. Either I can write str square brackets 3, that means access it using the positive index, or I can write str of -2, that means I can access the same character using the negative index also. Okay. Now, one most important point that you must always remember about using Python strings is that Python does not allow mutability in strings. That means strings in Python are immutable, and in simpler words, you cannot change any character or all the characters of a string once you have assigned a particular value to the string variable. So even using the indexing, you cannot reassign a new value to a part or a complete string using the indexing. So for example, you have a string str. Now the string stores a value YouTube. If you try to do something like this, that means you are trying to change the first character of this string str. Now you are assigning this particular index the value I. That means you are replacing the current value at index 0, which is y, by the value capital I. So this will again result in a type error. Why? Because the string object or strings in Python do not support assignment. You cannot change the value or values that are present inside a string, the characters of a string, after it has been assigned. You must create a new string if you want to change anything. Okay. So that was all for today. In this video, we learned about negative indexing, type errors based on indices, and the mutability of strings. So stay tuned to our channel for more such videos, and let us know if you want to see any specific topic before other videos in this series. Thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.